Very warm welcome to the panel discussion on redefining backhaul networks in the era of 5G and AI. So all of you would have seen that, while the frontline network is always there in the limelight, but the backhaul network often gets ignored. However, with the advent of 5G, upcoming 6G, and the use of AI, a lot of dynamics are changing within backhaul network also. So today in this panel discussion, we'll have discussion on the opportunities, challenges, innovations, and the future outlook that we see within the backhaul network. So we'll start with our panel discussion. And my first question is for you, Deepak and Girish. With this, continuous need for data-driven services and increase in connectivity, how are telcos upscaling their backhaul network in the light of 5G and upcoming 6G?
Hello? Hello? Yeah. Thank you for the question. And very rightly said, we often talk a lot about broadband, fixed line broadband, and the front end that is typically visible to us. And backhaul is not a subject that is often spoken about. But given data growth, let me just put a very, very rough example. In last 10 years, if we see India, internet traffic has grown by 100 times. 100 times. While when we talk on annual basis, this growth may amount to 30% or so in average, but 100 times in 10 years is a massive, traffic build. Next 10 years, it's anybody's guess, but the annual growth rate still sustains. And thanks to newer technologies like 5G and maybe 6G on horizon after some time. This capacity scale need a couple of, I would say, very comprehensive change in telco networks, and the efforts include, first one is infrastructure. And when we say infrastructure, fiber is the first one. Fiber, when we say it is deeper fiber penetration in rural, in urban markets, rather than going to main roads, we have to go to streets. And fiber coverage as well as capacity. All this while we have been talking fiber coverage, more fiber means covering newer areas on fiber. While this time with traffic increasing at massive pace, we see the need of having more fiber pairs as well. The second aspect is beside fiber, there are changes on leveraging microwave, more of fiber, less of microwave, but the efficiency of microwave is being increased rapidly. We are re-engineering and re-architecting microwave for higher capacities. There are newer tools available in form of E-band, which is much more scalable, much more capable, although it has its own sweet limitations. So it has to complement it with fiber. There are innovative steps leveraging fixed line broadband FTTH as backhaul, which is a massive enabler. As we grow broadband, more and more sites are backhauled using FTTH as a technology. The third aspect, which is a soft aspect, is re-engineering. Re-engineering not only fiber and physical media, the scaling for services. When I say services means a lot more IP addresses, a lot more devices. We talk millions of devices. Number of base stations has been multiplying. Number of devices on the fixed line side has been multiplying. Number of devices on the B2B side has been multiplying. So scale also has to increase. When I say scale, scale of routing, scale of addressing, scale of CPU processors in routers, scale of devices in a network from management and control perspective. The third part is, beside this technical innovation and changes and re-architect, I believe cost engineering is very important. And India being a very, very sensitive market, so any technology is good to implement unless until we work on the cost aspect of that technology. That is what makes it really feasible and sustainable. So there are a lot of changes from cost engineering and efficiency perspective so that we stay continuously on path to lower cost per bit. And last one is leveraging new tools like AI, machine learning, and automation and digitization, because networks of today are simply impossible to be managed by manual interventions. And last one is sustainability, energy footprint of these devices. Today, the routers that we need are 100 times bigger than maybe what we were deploying 10 years back. And these routers, we have to continuously focus on lower energy footprint so that beside CapEx, OpEx also remains in control.
Deepak, thanks for your are upscaling their backhaul network. Girish, would you like to add your views on in terms of upscaling thing? What have you
Yeah,
seen?
sure. Can you hear me? So very well articulated by Deepak ji here. So I'll not repeat what he has said. So I completely, I am in agreement with him. I strongly feel that the backhaul has been the unsung hero in the telecom networks. Just because of one reason, that it doesn't have this direct touch point with the customer. We have seen an era after spending 2.5 decades in this industry. We were eager to market our 2G products, 2.5G, even 2.75G. Then came 3G, 3.5G, 4G, 4.5G, 4.75G, 5G, like that. But that has never been the case with the backhaul networks or the transport network, where we have seen a similar trend, like starting from E1 T1 to STM1, STM4, 16, 64, DWDM. Then came the era of data, and we saw the IPification, and then came the IP-MPLS, and so on and so forth. We all should see one moment, what we call it as a volte moment, in the life of the transport network. All of us feel that the volte was enabled by the IMS. That is correct, very well correct. But very few people will understand the pain of the people who configured this volte traffic on the IP backbones. The kind of the Herculean task, especially for the operators who did not have the all IP network in place. So much of jugglery they have to do to bring up that voltage service seamlessly to the consumer. That moment should not be forgotten, because I have seen the pain of those people who has been working day in day out to make that possible. And remember that when this volte was a reality, automation was not to a scale where we are seeing today. So that is the level of the pain or the level of dedication this team has undergone, and we must appreciate and applaud them. So that is one part of the story. Now comes the 5G moment. Since volte was a real time traffic, which was requiring an uncompromised network performance in terms of the packet loss, jitter, in terms of latency, and so on. In 5G, even if we are yet to lit up the view NR service, Warner service, but in 5G, even for the data service also, we have a similar stringent criteria in terms of the latency, in terms of the throughput, and so on, wherein the kind of the QoS mechanisms and the traffic prioritization, the traffic engineering, what we did in case of the IP-MPLS or the overlay IP-MPLS with the help of the Ethernet networks, we have to do it right away, even for the data services, non-real-time traffic as well, in case of the 5G network. 5G is a trend of trend, basically. Within 5G, it comprises of many more things. First one I'll say is like 5G in itself. There are two kind of architecture, NSA and SA. NSA has the benefit of imbibing from the previous generation of the technology, whereas in case of 5G SA core technology, it itself is a forklift change in terms of arrangement of network architecture. We had, let's say, 4 or 6 core network for a pan-India basis. When we had the 5G as a core, we have almost at least a one core network in every telecom circle of India. And then coupled with this is the MAC architecture, the edge computing architecture, wherein we are further realizing, the lowest latency to support the latency sensitive application by putting those, you know, core network nodes like UPF much closer to the subscriber. So that itself is, putting a demand on the backhaul network to be redesigned, the kind of the way the edge or the core network has been, core routers has been placed. It requires a further, redesigning or the reconfiguration and so on. So that is one part of the story. Another is the FWA deployment. In FWA deployment, if we observe that the last mile, where traditionally, we have been putting a fiber, I must say that fiber was and continues to stay the gold standard when it comes to putting a physical connectivity. But in the dense urban areas where it is not feasible to put a fiber in a step behind the last mile, we are leveraging 5G itself towards the backhaul, wherein we are using some outdoor CPs to connect to the radio base station, and you will not believe that we are able to comfortably achieve the speeds up to 1 Gbps plus with the same C-band spectrum. So that is the level of innovation is coming up, and then the same this backhaul is getting integrated into the IP backhaul. So that is one thing. Another thing is, for example, is the network slicing. Network slicing is another opportunity to efficiently demarcate the resources on your IP backbone. That the network slice what we are getting from the core network or from the UERP subscribers, we can we cannot realize that without the the necessary configuration on the IP MPLS backbone. So there again we can use the tools like segment routing or resource, RSVP, traffic engineering kind of things. So we can create the slice on the IP MPLS backbone that has put an, another requirement on the IP MPLS backbone, unlike in the past. So without stressing, I can keep on telling that what all the things it has been impacting. So without stressing, and of course AI is there. So AI is the de facto standard. It is now the new electricity. It is now touching everywhere. And it is a classic situation where the 5G needs AI and the AI needs the 5G. And so is the IP MPLS the case, that 5G needs IP MPLS, IP MPLS needs AI, AI needs IP MPLS, IP MPLS needs AI. And it is I'll say a very interweaved situation right now, that each technology needs other technology to survive and to leverage completely than ever before.
Thanks. Thank you, Girish.
Yeah.
So, we have discussed the opportunities that are there in the backhaul network space. Now, coming on to challenges, any deployment is not devoid of challenges. So, my next question is for you, Jophy and Pashupati, that what challenges do you see telcos are facing in transforming this entire backhaul network?
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. If you look at from a challenges perspective, the cost, of course, remains the prohibitory challenge initially to start off with. But apart from the cost, there are three, four key elements that is required, or rather the challenges that has been faced while we are looking at modernizing the backhaul network. One is interoperability. A lot of systems that you have today could be legacy. You are in the process of modernizing. And while you are doing the complete rollout, how does the current systems, processes work with the upscale modernization that is being expected? So one is interoperability. Second one, I would call it as vendor lock-in. The current systems, the current investments that has been done on the backhaul network could be tied to one or two partners or vendors that are either part of your technology roadmap while modernizing, or might be a shift to a new technology partner. So that vendor lock-in has to be looked into. Third and important aspect to that is the regulatory environment, the regulatory compliance. It's ever evolving, right, within India and globally as well, because you are touching data of enterprises or users spread out globally. You need to look at the regulatory constraints and some of the nuances around the likes of GDPR or US specific data regulatory aspects that need to be considered. And the fourth important point, I would say, it is the network security. While modernizing right from the core to the endpoint, the network security aspect has to be taken care very efficiently, and it should be in a manner that you don't compromise while you're looking at modernizing it. I'm not emphasizing much on the customer experience part, because if you look at while the process of modernizing is going on, the customer experience also takes a hit. So I think the companies are investing heavily to ensure that while they are doing this mega shift, the customer experience does not get impacted, because it's important to maintain that aspect of customer experience and ensure that those customers remain committed to you and your rollout plans as they move forward. So those are some of the points that I would bring in, Akansha.
Thanks, Jophy. Good afternoon, everyone. So I rightly agree with all the esteemed panel members out here that when we talk about 5G, in the morning also we heard people talking about 5G, that 5G is more of an experience, right? We all as users, what we expect out of 5G is a better experience. Now when we talk about 5G, definitely it is something which rides on the backhaul network. And as we proceed further towards 5G and 6G and further AI related use cases, the handheld devices or any CP device which our consumers, we people use, has to get as an experience. To do that, there are multiple reports which says that in India, the cell sites got to be fiberized at least 70 to 80% in terms of connectivity. I'll go back to the point which Deepak sir raised some time back. What is the biggest challenge? I would try to simplify and put it in two words. Number one is cost. Second is operations of all those deployments. So when it is about cost, we all know there's a fixed cost and a variable, so we can drop the cost of a solution up to a level, not beyond that. So what is that we can do? We can elevate ourselves and work on new technologies. So I firmly believe as the things are making up out there on the front haul and the AI side, we are working towards the backhaul networks, wherein we are trying to scale and support the global industries and the operators to scale further and reduce the per bit. At same point in time, the operations and the uptime of the networks, backhaul networks, are getting very critical because we look forward for ultra low latency, always like 100% uptime. What is that could be done? Here, AI and machine learning plays a very vital and important role for any network. By virtue of the AI and ML, of late, globally, what we have been able to do is we have been able to develop algorithms which help us understand and proactively figure out that what could happen at some point in time. By virtue of that, we take some proactive steps, and our algorithm help us to identify that. And we have seen multiple cases where we could have had a crunch of capacity, we could have had an outage because of various reasons, but we were able to take or help our customers to derive a way that it could be handled proactively. So I'm very sure that as we move further towards machine learning and AI, it is not only the experience what an end user is gonna get out of that, but at same point in time, with help of these, we are gonna help everyone to reduce the cost per bit cost of the offerings, and at same point in time make the uptimes better. And that is what we are here for, to support the AI and ML learning.
Thanks, Pashupati and Jophy, for summarizing the challenges. Fiber optic networks, and my next question is for you, Sandeep and Mr. Anil. It's an integral part of the backhaul network. So, what kind of transformations are you seeing in the fiber optic network to support the emerging technologies and any new innovations that are happening in this space?
Thank you, Akanksha and ETTelecom to give this opportunity to talk about fiber. See, basically, we talk about new technologies, AI, everything, whatever is new, it's something coming up. But the backbone is fiber. Whatever you do, the fiber, if the quality of fiber, point number one, as Deepak and Girish said, the quality of the fiber, the number of fibers is most important factor of the entire network. I would say the number of fibers cores will definitely can be deployed, but the quality of fiber and the O&M. The O&M is plays most critical part of entire ecosystem. If your O&M is not proper, if your SLAs are not in time, your downtime is not been controlled, then your network is no value. The new technologies will come, the Cienas will get you the new boxes, AI will come, everything will come. But ultimately it remains with the field people to handle it. And I would say as a Microscan, we thrive on the quality of the fiber network. We commit 100% uptime. When you say 100% uptime in a city like Mumbai is very difficult to get. But we have achieved towards our excellence. People talk about AI on the equipments and those sides. But we try to, create the data which has been captured from the field, and we convert that into the AI, and we generate some kind of a logic behind what are the number of faults which is coming in, which are the repetitive faults, and those repetitive faults can be avoided, and how do we conquer those kind of episodes in the entire field. So according to me, the O&M plays vital role in any of the network. The uptime guarantees plays very vital role. The quality of fiber is again plays very vital role, because if you have lossy fiber, then your network is always jittery. And those jitters, to avoid, it has to be a clean fiber network, which is a prima facie of any of the networks, any of the backbones. And another point is the number of core fibers. When the 2G and 3G came in, that the number of fiber cores were required was less. Now today's date, as and when you have 5G, you need more number of towers, no more number of connectivity to be happen, and for that you need to break the fiber in every kilometer or 2 kilometers, which gives you a more losses on the fiber, and that creates a problematic thing. So improvement of the quality is the most important factor of any of the fiber backbone. Third thing is, there is a definitely requirement of a consolidation. I will tell what I mean to say is consolidation is, there are a lot of fiber has been laid across India, but there is no consolidation happening on the fiber network. I mean, Jio will lay the fiber, Airtel will lay the fiber, Microscan will lay the fiber, and still there will be a lot of capacity available on each fibers, which I feel that should be, on a telco ground, on a neutral ground, people should come together and, consolidate the fiber counts. It will help everybody's ecosystem. This is what my feeling is. I mean, other cities still cities will still be congested, but other than the city, there is still a lot of fibers available, and then we can consolidate more on the utility based fiber, metro, rail, OPGW. If you do on those fibers, that still the stability comes in picture. We are also taking a lot of initiative on utility based fiber for connecting the data centers. And the moment you get a quality fiber backbone, you will require a lower resiliency. So what happens is that today's date, every player, every telco, every OTTs, they take 3-path protection, 4-path protection. Why they take 3-path protection? Is because they are not confident on 2 paths. 2 paths can fail anytime. If somebody gives a robust network with a 2-path protection and 100% uptime, automatically the cost of equipment also will go down, because people will start using 2-path protection because it is a reliable fiber network. So that is the reason that the cost will go down. You will have an improved ROI for your all the networks which is going into the market. If you see the number of cuts, we are saying India is the highest 5G users, but I have done a study about fiber cuts per month or fiber cuts per day. City like Mumbai, I am operating in city like Mumbai, I observe around 7 to 8 cuts in a day, wherein Singapore has got 1 kitten a year. So that's how the ecosystem is built in, because India is a developing country, the infrastructure is going on, it's becoming day by day, new and new construction is happening, fiber is getting. Another point is the discipline what we lay the fiber. It's not been disciplined, it is not been properly, quality control has been managed. So 3 things which I would like to say about fiber rollout and fiber infrastructure: that has to be a good quality of fiber should be available. The uptime has to be guaranteed 100%, and the O&M, the time to rectify any of the fault, it should not be more than 2 hours or 3 hours. This will give you a better ecosystem for entire group of uh, all the processes like 5G, AI, whatever it is. So this is very important factor according to me. I mean, Anil sir will have.
Yeah, you have pretty much covered it all. Thanks, Akansha. I think I would want to add one thing over here, that fiber plays a major role in backhaul. To an ordinary person, connecting a tower to the core or a customer premises to an internet is the backhaul. Deeper the fiber, in the earlier session we heard that spectrum is becoming scarce. So deeper the fiber, less load on the spectrum. And in India, in countries like China, Japan, Hong Kong, Korea, the fiber to home connections are up to 80% of the populace. We have covered hardly 15, 20. So if more deeper fiber is connected, then less on the backhaul, there would be load on spectrum and backhaul. But backhaul need to be very strong. Like Girish rightly pointed out, these are the unsung heroes who are maintaining that fiber 24/7 for us with all the protection, like he's pointed two-way, three-way or four-way protection. But you know, we need service 24/7. We are in content. And if some match is coming or a movie is coming and my signal is getting jittery, I will feel very bad. I will curse all the people in the industry that why my signal is bad. But maintaining that is a Herculean task. So all the kudos to the guys who maintain this backhaul for us.
Agree, completely agree. We touched upon the automation aspect, and few of you also touched upon how AI is being used. So my next question is for you, Girish and Mr. Deepak. That automation plays a very important role in managing complex backhaul networks, and also AI is acting as a transformational agent. So what kind of automation trends that you see, and how AI can be used in backhaul data analytics?
So I think the AI and automation has become a synonym to each other. So I would not see both of them quite different for that matter. And automation is apparently now the lifeline of the network. The way the networks are growing, the complexity of the technology is being created. Automation is no more a luxury; it is a necessity, and AI is helping greatly in achieving that automation. We have been doing those many things in the past to meet the network demand basically, and there was a lot of manual intervention we used to do which is no more feasible in the current scenario. You will see that now with AI coming in place, you are doing the same those things automatically with the kind of the accuracy that what humans we used to do with the machines. For example, the dynamic resource allocation in the IP/MPLS backbones, with the fluctuating demands and with the kind of the traffic fluctuations happening, AI is automatically able to predict the traffic based on the historic data points, is able to do the load balancing, even the energy management, all without any kind of the human intervention. So that is from the dynamic resource allocation perspective. From predictive maintenance perspective also, you will see that for example, anomaly detection, if there is any significant drop in the network performance, in terms of fault prediction with the accuracy, all this thing is happening with the AI right now. And most important is from the business needs. I mean, I strongly feel these days that the technology dictates the business opportunity. It is not the business which is dictating the business opportunity these days. If you have a right technology, then only you can latch on the business opportunities. And that's where the power of AI comes into the place, wherein you are able to find out the customer insights, that what is the the customer experience with your service on the preemptive basis. You are able to even preemptively find out that which customer is going to be churned out of your network. I mean, I am privy to that, being hands-on on that application. So that is happening with the help of the AI. At the same time, you are able to optimize the network performance. You are able to find out based on the historic data, based on the high quality labeled data. You are able to analyze with the custom algorithms. Again, I will say that the LLMs, what has been talked in the market, are not relevant in the telecom context. You need a tailor-made, algorithms in which you are doing your own tuning of the hyperparameters. You are applying that algorithm as an engine and then feeding your high-quality labeled data. The telcos, which are the owner of this labeled data, are having that vantage point. So that's where you are able to bring that acute prediction and able to understand or comprehend the situation to the level of the human intuition, so that you are all able to achieve with the help of AI. Now the interesting part is the way the backhaul needs the AI. Similarly, AI also needs the backhaul. For example, if you want to train the data, you need a dedicated predictive bandwidth. Whereas if you want to do the inferencing of the data, you need the low latency network. And all this thing has to be, defined in the IP/MPLS backbone. NVIDIA, who runs the DGX cloud, for them, as in the morning somebody said that earlier the space and The power used to be the driving point for the data center, whereas now these days it is the connectivity. The NVIDIA DGX cloud totally relies on the cloud native IP MPLS backbone. Interestingly, the Tesla's Dojo supercomputer, they rely, I mean, it is very interesting case. So it is a worth pondering that where are we? They are not using any established standardized protocol. They have developed their own protocol. They call it as TTPoE, Tesla Transport Protocol over Ethernet. And they are claiming that we are able to achieve this latency up to microseconds. We are talking of milliseconds, the 1,000ths of millisecond. And they are not disclosing. They have developed their own protocol, which is connecting this Dojo supercomputer infrastructure. So those are the kind of the development which is happening in the industry, to which we cannot close our eyes. We should not be petrified by that. But there is, I mean, telecom has done quite a seminal job for that matter. The way we brought up the whole society, the governance and everything. But now it's a time that with the help of this kind of innovative enterprises, we collaborate closely and we further extrapolate the capabilities. And we should not forget that the way we were the owner of the world's largest MSISDN community, which WhatsApp capitalized, now we are the owner of the world's largest high quality labeled data. We should not miss this bus.
I think, yeah, Deepak sir, if you want to add on anything.
Very rightly said by Girish. So three things. Number one is prediction, and second is intelligent auditing, and third one is optimization. So Girish covered all three. I would just stress on auditing. Today everybody has heard usage of drones and machines in improving field services. When I say field services, more image-based auditing, how good the field service is working rather than sending people to the field to observe how a particular task is being performed. AI models are being used to audit video and workmanship. And the next part is, beside this auditing, when we have AI auditing some of the tasks that we are doing, the difference that AI can bring is rather than predefining parameters manually, AI algorithms are self-learning with built-in intelligence to hyper fine-tune some of those algorithms, which are practically beyond the scope of human mind and human manual configuration. So that is a big change that AI is bringing. I believe this trend has just started. And with these AI models, the kind of configuration, the kind of customization, huge amount of data workload in segments of network, in every layer of network, different services, different times, different patterns in month, in year or week or day or time of the day. Such kind of detailed analysis and prediction and thereby audit and recommendation of parameters to that fine tuning is possible only using machine learning and AI. And that is where I believe a big change is happening right now. And that essentially is going to evolve networks of tomorrow. As one of the members said, we need performance sensitive backhaul networks. So that performance probably in time to come, extra fine-tuned latency, extra fine-tuned packet loss, right path, right performance, it will have to be coming through AI and machine learning algorithms. It will be impossible to do it manually.
Sure. Thank you. I know we don't have much time, but there are two important questions that I want to cover. And Pashupati and Jophy, if you can share your views on new partnership and business models that are emerging in this space. And then maybe Sandeep and Anil, if you can touch upon the government-led initiatives that are transforming. So starting with you, Pashupati.
Thanks. So I'll not take much of time, but yes, this is the time when these partnerships are establishing out here in India, I would say rather globally. In past, we as an organization, we have seen that majority of our business and what we used to do and build was for service providers. When I talk about last few years, especially after COVID, the change what we have seen is this trend is changing. New partnerships are getting up and the hyperscalers are going very aggressive. So they are joining hands with service providers and they are supporting them better to make a network which offers petabyte of capacities, and the investments are being shared to get a better experience to the end user. And this is happening here right away in India as well. Though due to regulatory things, in India they cannot build much by themselves. So they are again partnering with the service providers to build a MOFN network, which is managed optical fiber network, wherein the service providers are building something for them. But the kind of capacities what we are seeing out there is like second to none. And that is the reason our entire research and development is aligned to focus towards that kind of build, which actually helps us to go for multi-tera kind of networks. One very simple pointer I would like to pass on before I hang up is, if we compare where we are in terms of offering capacity on a single pair of fiber vis-a-vis a decade back, we are almost 70 to 80 times, sorry, my bad, 7 to 8 times of what we used to offer on same fiber. We used to give 100G or 88 channels on one single fiber, which is 8.8 tera. As on date, we are offering 1.6 tera, 24 channels on C band, and then we have also L band, which again adds similar capacity, which turns out to be like 76, 78 tera, which is as good as 7, 8 times. So I totally understand with everyone, as we all have been hearing since morning, fiber is very important and it is the need of the hour. But same point in time, we got to see how we can actually get more out of the existing fiber plant, and that is what we are focused about. So yes, the partnerships are there, and that is helping us drive a better, a relation with service providers as well as hyperscalers to get better offerings.
I think Pashupati covered it pretty well. I'll just add on to one more point. The partnerships with the telecom service providers, the equipment providers, hyperscalers, and system integrators, right? We are bringing the whole ecosystem together. It's paramount to see how the APIs are being shared, how the system integrator is building up the whole ecosystem, talking about private 5G or buying spectrum for different large global enterprise segments, or even looking at how the telecom service providers plus the equipment providers are partnering together to roll out specific use cases based on the industry model. So I think the hyperscalers and the overall ecosystems are coming together to ensure that we are gearing up for the future. And I think we would see more and more partnerships being forged in this space as we move forward.
Sure, thanks. Mr. Anil, can you please share your views
Plus
on...
one thing, OpenAI, APIs.
So that is another thing.
Yes, API we should not forget when we want to create the partnership. It is a new model, new arrangement to capitalize, to monetize your infrastructure assets.
We'll now just take one more minute to summarize on the government-led initiatives, and
Right.
let
So,
Sandeep
so I'll just take half a minute on the government side. Still there is a long way to go. Still, fiberization is not gone up to the place. Second point is, from the regulatory side, we would like to see a unified right-of-way policy. Today's date, everywhere the right-of-ways are different. The right-of-ways are exorbitantly high in the metro cities and relatively lower in the rural areas. But as a fiber provider and as a NLD service provider, we would like to see the uniform right-of-way policy. And third point, which I want to really emphasize, is the skill development on the fiber O&M side and the fiber skill set, which is still lagging, which we are not up to the mark. We are finding it difficult to get new talent on the fiber network rollout and the deployment. And these are the 3 points I would like to see from the government side to help us. And we also try to, collaborate with those guys. That's my point. Anil sir, it's your turn.
Rightly said, Sandeep. I think we talk of smart cities, but we are yet to see the corridors for laying fiber, which is essential for your backhaul. Even after making so much usage of fiber, we see fibers getting cut every time there is an infrastructure project going on. Fibers are cut ruthlessly. So there are no system of fiber corridors even across our national highways. What to talk of smart cities, which we are yet to see, which is the main, I think, problem in getting fiber rolled out to the deeper strata of the country.
Thank you so much. With this, we come to an end of our panel discussion. Thank you so much, esteemed panelists, for sharing your insights, and ETTelecom for giving us this opportunity.